Hello, I'm Lynn Thurman, and you're watching the Inner Goddess interviews. I am chatting to women who are unleashing their inner goddess and following their soul path. And today I am really excited to welcome LisaDiana Delaney from New York. Thank you so much, LisaDiana. Hello.
Hi, Lynn. Nice to be here.
Thank you for making the time to chat with me.
Absolutely.
Now, sorry. We were talking a little while before we broadcast, and you've just kind of exploded onto the internet in a good way, not a bad way. It looks like you're really following a calling to do the things that really matter and mean things to you. You've started your Blessed Bee Buddies, which is an animal ministry. You've started a pen pal project, which is going great guns.
Yes.
There's so much going on, and you're writing, you're creating art. Where's all this drive coming from, and how do we get some?
I have to tell you, I think it's summer vacation that has put a fire under me, as we say over here. I had been very unhappy in my chosen career. Although I am highly educated in it, it just wasn't something that I was enjoying. And for a very long time, I tried other avenues, other jobs, other careers, go back to school, and nothing quite seemed to fit. And the only thing I knew from a young age was that I related to people on a soul level. And I knew there was more to life than going to a job from 9 to 5. Coming home, lying on the couch from pure exhaustion, and then getting up again at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is what I do, and doing it all over again. And I saw so many people at my day job who were unhappy, who were grumpy and cranky, and I kept saying to myself, but if they only knew there's so much more. There's so much more to life. There's so much. Stand outside, be quiet, which is very hard for a New Yorker to do, and listen to the wind in the trees. Look at a bunny, which we do have, crossing the street. There's just so much more. And I didn't know how to express that there was so much more. And so as an educator, I go and take classes, and I learn, and I search, and I think forever, and finally it all came to a peak where I was able to get my message across and incorporate everything that I consider for myself to be more, for lack of a better phrase. And for me, it was as simple as connecting women through the Pen Pal Project, get away from technology, although it is wonderful, we're using it right now to go across the pond, as we say, but to speak with each other as we did when we were younger. You would go outside and you would ride a bicycle. You wouldn't play a video game. You would connect with each other on a different level because there's more than what we are limiting ourselves to right now. And then for me, of course, there were the animals who innately know that there's more. And so, unfortunately, because people are overwhelmed in today's society with the 9 to 5, with the technology, with just trying to squeak out a living, that we've stopped learning from the elements around us. We've stopped paying attention to the animals that we have. We've stopped being creative, and that all just came. These are all the things that you were talking about were just ways that I was able to express how I believe there's so much more if we just stop and think and listen. And you're right, it just poof, there you go. There are so many avenues from creating an art journal to to connecting with women in the Soul Path tribe, which I just adore, and thank you so much for creating. To
Oh, thank you for being part of that.
it's wonderful, and such a platform also. Um, to the animals, to the the Pen Pal project, it's all just part of my trying to get across to people that find your own avenue to realize that life is more than what you're letting it be.
I know that you're working still as a teacher, and kudos to you, because wow, that's a hard job, LisaDiana. I couldn't do it. I mean, I homeschool my daughter. She's 6-year-old. There's one of her, and wow. So hats off to you. So is it your goal to eventually phase out the teaching and just immerse yourself in your soul calling?
Oh, how I wish I could. I really, really wish I could. But I am downright petrified to give up my 9-to-5 job, which, of course, as a teacher is not a 9-to-5 job, and the benefits that go along with it, and the steady paycheck. And I have 4 fur babies that I have to care for and feed, and then there's rent, and there are real life things that need to be accomplished. And some of the ways that I'm expressing myself do not carry a paycheck, such as the Pen Pal project or an animal ministry. Ministers don't get paid. So I would like very much to retire at 57, which is a contract that I have with the school where I am, and then go full force with the animal ministry from there. But in order to do that, I need to really create a foundation now, so that I'm ready and able to get going.
You're doing an amazing job at creating that foundation. Like I said, you just exploded. You're everywhere, and it's great. Now,
Thank you very much.
What you're doing is, listening to your soul and expressing who you are and how you feel that there's a bigger message that we should be connecting more. I know that loads of other women are in the same boat as you, as us. What advice would you give to someone to, begin to make your dreams, not from your head to reality? How did you get the confidence to say, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and just go for it?
To be honest with you, I don't think it was confidence at all. It was boredom, to be honest with you. I was absolutely bored with the status quo of my life and knew that I had to do something just so that I could keep my mind active. With regard to other women who may be in the same boat, and I agree with you, I really do think that there are quite a few people in this day and age of both sexes, and even the children, who know deep down there is something else to do, something else to enjoy. For them, if they are like me, where I just knew there was something, but I didn't know what it was, my suggestion is read, is talk to as many people as you can, and try not to get stuck in one dogma or one train of thought. If you pick up a book and you thought you were interested in, for example, giraffes for whatever, and you're not, don't finish it, put it down, move on to the next thing. Allow yourself to make mistakes until you have finally become comfortable in what it is that you enjoy. And give yourself time to reflect. Give yourself time to sit back and say, okay, LisaDiana, what are you doing? You're not enjoying this. Well, what did you enjoy when you were a kid? And what did I wanted to go out and play. My mother had to tie me to a chair to read because I was bored out of my mind and I wanted to ride my bicycle. So if I wanted to play, okay, as an adult, how am I going to play? I'm going to make art, because whenever I walked into my grandfather's very, very small studio, I was overwhelmed with inspiration. Go back to when you were a child and you were not encumbered with the daily living necessities. The same with writing. I always, as a child, and the pictures are so vivid in my mind, was inspired by a blank notebook. Now, back then, I had no idea what to write in that blank notebook. And so, therefore, being at this age, I now have the tools to combine the passion and the inspiration from when I was a child to now, and to get something flowing. Animals have always been with me. They've always been a passion of mine. I can thank my mother for that. It's just they need to be treated humanely, and for all the people who are searching, go back to when you were happy. Go back to maybe you were happy when you were 20 on a beach in Hawaii because of the ocean life you were seeing. Go get a book. Go onto the internet. Go with when you remember being happy, and take it from there and see what transpires. Reflect, meditate, talk to people, and make a whole bunch of mistakes.
Exactly. You never know what's going to work or what fits best for you unless you make a ton load of mistakes.
That's right.
So really, your advice is kind of like having an experiment in bliss.
That's exactly what it is.
Remember it and then go chase it.
Yes. Yes. And if I think the biggest thing for me was, if while chasing it, it is no longer fun, stop. Because here, at least in New York, we seem to have a go-go, as we would say, a go-go gadget attitude, which is go after whatever it is that you set your mind to, and do not stop until you have achieved it. That was a huge lesson for me that I discovered just not too long ago. Why am I chasing something that no longer fits? Why am I chasing something for the mere fact that it was a goal at one time, and I'm chasing it because it's a goal?
I totally agree. We seem to get into this, we do over here as well. I don't think it's just a New York thing. You set yourself a goal that was right at the time, and if you don't achieve it, you almost feel like you've failed yourself, or you failed other people, because you've changed along the way. Your journey isn't the same, your destination has moved, and yet you can beat yourself up over it for trying to achieve something that isn't you anymore.
That's exactly right.
It's perfect advice, because we forget that life is a journey and it's not all about getting goals, and you're free to change as you move along it.
Mm-hmm.
You should. God, I would hate to be stuck as my 20-year-old me.
Oh gosh, no.
Chasing those goals.
No, I did that, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it unfortunately, it's something that we teach in the educational system. Go for that goal, go for this, go for that, and we don't allow the children to say, but I don't want to anymore. So they grow up with this philosophy embedded in them that I said I was going to do it, so I got to see it through.
Our education system over here is slightly different from yours, in so much that when you get to 14, that's the age that my son is now, you take your options, which are your qualifications that set you up for the rest of your life. So we don't have like a general education up until we're 18. We specialise when we're 14. So
I don't know how you're supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at 14.
I didn't know, and I've been going through this with my son, and you know, we don't encourage our children to experience and to grow and change our minds. When you're told at 14, make decisions and you'll be doing this kind of job until you retire, it's really, really scary.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. I'm paranoid about my sound now.
Oh, no.
So that's an absolutely strong message that more people need to hear. They really do.
Thank you very much. I'm going forth and petrified that the momentum that I have created will suddenly stop. And I will fail terribly. So you and I were talking before about doing things that petrify you, scare the bejesus out of you, as we say. And kind of the opposite of what we were just talking about, how we were saying, you know, don't go for that goal if it's not what you want. On the other end, if it's something that you want, don't let anything stop you. So it's a two-face or two sides to the coin kind of thing. Every day I have to tell myself, keep going, keep going. You know, you're not bringing money in right now from this venture, but it's okay. And if it's meant to be, it'll be there. And don't compare myself to others as well, which is a huge lesson. Especially, I grew up as what they say is a mechanical artist, which means that I can look at something and reproduce it. So it's very detailed, it's very mechanical, it's very structured. And then I found the outlet of art journaling, which is the antithesis of that, and it is just everything goes and free flow and go, and not only am I having a blast, but then I'm saying, oh my goodness, this can't be art. This just doesn't look like that, and it doesn't look like hers, and it doesn't, and that would have stopped me previously. So I'm trying very hard to to continue to go, although it scares me quite a lot that I will be thwarted in some way. And I have to remind myself daily, just don't compare yourself to anyone. This is what's bringing you joy at the moment, so go.
Yeah, even with the internet and how easy it is to connect with people, you usually see people when they've reached a certain level where we perceive them as being successful, and you don't see the journey that it takes to get there and how scary it is and how you have to motivate yourself and push yourself to follow your dreams. When you just see the end result, it's so easy to compare yourself and think, I'm never going to get there, or why aren't I getting there?
It's very easy also to say, what is this for? Why am I exerting all of this energy when it seems to be falling on deaf ears, when the message that I'm trying to bring forth to others is being ignored? That's disheartening, and it can really stop your momentum, and it can really put an obstacle in your way from accomplishing the goal that's bringing you joy. So in addition to not comparing myself to other people, I also have to remind myself, maybe the message won't be heard on a universal scale, like my delusions of grandeur would like it to be. But if it touches 1, 2, 5 people, then that's 5 people that didn't hear it before. So sometimes changing my mindset helps that momentum going as well.
You're doing absolutely fabulous. I am so proud of you, LisaDiana.
Thank you so much.
You've got so much going on with like your animal ministry. Can you explain a bit to me what that's about? Because that's something that's kind of alien to us over here.
Oh, it's alien to everybody over here also. It's a very new um, type of pastoral care, actually. Um, I am currently halfway through an interfaith seminary, which is for humans, which sounds so funny. It's for humans. And I'm currently taking courses to be an animal chaplain. Don't ask me how I found the institute, because I can't even backstep to figure that out. But I did find it, and you know, when things are meant to be, they find you. So this program found me, and I didn't know what it was, and nobody around me knew what it was. And in fact, one of my pen pals, who's over in your neck of the woods, was delightfully funny when her husband said, "Well, what does LisaDiana do? Go up to a squirrel and preach the good word and say, 'Come on over, I need to teach you.'" I so appreciated that. I thought that was the funniest thing. But animal chaplaincy or creating an animal ministry is different for each minister. You can hear my boys in the background right now. They're not getting enough attention. So I apologize for that. Each minister is going to take their ministry wherever that minister feels it needs to go. But at the core, as far as I'm concerned, it is catering to the soul of the animal. That in and of itself is a very new way of thinking. Many, many people do not see all beings as sentient, I mean, only humans. They don't see all beings as having a soul, only humans. Or even a higher consciousness, only humans. And I think the more that we go over into the Aquarian age from the Piscean, the more that the indigos and the crystal children are arriving, the more people's awareness is opening to the fact that, oh, wait a minute, that dog in the news who found his way home by going 50 miles when he was lost, there's a reason. Oh, wait a minute, maybe he had a memory. Or this dog, when he cowers in the corner, when I just raise my voice, oh, he has a memory. And I think people are becoming more cognizant that animals, I won't go as far as saying that as a human race we are at the point where everyone will say an animal has a soul. I'll get them there. It'll take me a while, but I'll get them there.
You're building your foundation for it.
My foundation for it. But as far as I'm concerned, for my animal ministry, it is catering to the soul of the animal, whether that animal is physically injured, emotionally injured, lonely. I have 4 rescues right now, and I often go and visit a farm sanctuary way upstate in New York for rescued animals, and I know without a doubt that these animals have a higher consciousness. Now, are they as evolved as we are? Maybe not. You know, no, that squirrel that my friend's husband was telling me about cannot read, but, you know, that's okay. That squirrel still knows that he exists, and that is very difficult for people to understand and to accept. And since this is a brand new, up-and-coming form of pastoral care, I have to take responses in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, because it is really expanding the scope of the human cognizance. The animals are fine, which is very interesting for me when I'm going through this program, saying, LisaDiana, you're ministering to animals, but you're focusing more on the people. And I had to sit back and think and say, well, the animals are okay. I can go up to the animals and I can relate one-on-one just by sitting quietly and having my puppy crawl in my lap, and we can commune on a soul level. But the pet parents are a little bit harder to convince.
I absolutely love that. Everything that you're doing is because it's coming from a soul level. And with your ministry, it's almost as if you're taking your role as an educator into the ministry, and it's your calling to be the minister, but it's really to be the educator for the humans while you're
I agree. I don't think I
lives.
can get away from the label or the role of teacher, no matter how I try. And quite frankly, it is not a role that I dislike. I think merely it was the confines of the educational system that I didn't care for. But yes, I teach, I educate, and that is multifaceted. But you're absolutely right. I mean, they're just going to slap across my forehead, teacher. Whether it is to teach, the animals, or to teach people about them, or to teach, young ladies that there's so much more available in life than just spinning your wheels in the mud, so to speak. Yeah, it's. I'm not mad at you, as they say over here.
We'll rephrase it then. You can be a wisdom giver instead of teaching.
Oh, I like that. Beautiful. I will take that and run with it.
I know teachers, when you think of teaching, you think of institutions, but a teacher is such, it's an honour to have that kind of ability to teach other people. So you should be honoured in your wisdom-giving capacity.
Thank you.
I think you're amazing.
I could put that on the back of the ministry business card. The animals and I will give you some wisdom. Oh, I like that, Lynn.
Another part, you've got your art going as well, and I've looked, and I don't know why you're criticizing your art, because I've looked at those pages on your Facebook page that you've just put up, and it's lovely. It's soulful. I love what you're doing.
Thank
and you. Writing, what are you writing?
I was inspired to write an art journal for tweens, for young girls, particularly one that celebrated the Wheel of the Year. And when I say inspired, I can't give any credit to my ego or intelligence. It was without a doubt channeled, every few days, and I was given prompts for the young ladies. Whether one of them was, go out in nature, find 3 pieces of nature, come back and make art. Period. Just do it. Just go. And every single one of those prompts, at the core of it, is the message of just create. Just go, envelop yourself in art of any way, and run with it. So another prompt that the ladies, it could be for boys too, but it just didn't strike me as something that the boys would like to do. You put a paper on top of your head and draw something. So there's a bit of levity in it as well. And what I've been doing is creating the background pages for the girls to journal on. And I thank you for that, because it's nervous putting something you create out there. It really is talk about petrifying. It really is, especially, as you say, when it comes from your soul. You're putting something that you've invested in and something you care so deeply about, and you're putting it out there. And we live in such a society, excuse me, where we're judged. And to see, is somebody going to come up and say, "What is this?" Or so thank you. I appreciate that. But this will be the first book that I've ever written, and it's been a great journey. It has been so much fun and scary at the same time, and yet it's also been a vehicle for me to think of other ways to reach those tweens. I always knew, although I didn't enjoy the institution of education, that I related to the children. And I think that is because they are as pure as the animals. And I'm able to relate to both because I don't have to get through all that humanity, all that ego that we as adults suffer from. And so this art journal is a way for me to reach those children. And to get my message across to them before they grow up to an age where they say, "Oh, I can't even draw a stick figure." Put your fingers in some finger paint and doodle. Go.
Have you got a day for completion yet? Any idea?
No, I'm hoping. I'm hoping for. Actually, everything that I'm doing, I'm hoping for the end of the summer before I get to go back to work. But the background pages are finished. The text is finished, and my cousin is a graphic artist, and hopefully he will make room in his schedule for me where he can put the text digitally onto the pages, because that is where his young age works, and my old age with technology, not so much. So right now it's more of his schedule, and I'm hoping to release it as an ebook by the end of the summer, which is the end of almost this month. Thank you for scaring me. Yes, it's coming quickly.
You'll get it done. It'll be fine. At least you won't have time to be really, really scared.
Right. Finite amount of time to be very scared. You're right.
Exactly. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And is there anything else that any more wisdom that you can share with women who are maybe bottled up, need to express themselves creatively, or even want to get involved in your animal ministry? Because, wow, this is all new. This is great stuff.
It is. It's brand new. With regard to getting unstuck, find 3 minutes where you can be quiet. And I'm sure there are women who are stuck and they have 5 children and dogs, and the world is just chaos around them. If you can find 3 minutes to remember what brought you joy, and just the next day, take 3 minutes and delve a little bit deeper into what brought you joy, and just keep building on that. And soon enough, before you realize it, you will have formed in your mind of what would make you happy now. With regard to being creative, it's going to sound silly. Go outside, put some water on some dirt, and play.
That sounds like fun.
It is. Put your hands in some finger paint and go. Glitter. I love everything that sparkles. Go get some glitter washi tape and put it in your planner of all those things that you need to get done.
It sounds like your journal, even though you said it's for tweens, sounds like stuck women would need this.
You know what? the more I talk to you, they just might be right. You might be another avenue to pursue. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. You can market it.
Type thing. That would, oh, well, I'll just have to keep talking to you more often. You're right. You're right. The journaling and the ebook that I am creating it would help women become unstuck with regard to their creativity, because everything goes. And the one thing that is unacceptable with regard to the book is to say, oh, I can't. If you don't compare yourself to another artist, yes, you can. Who says you can't? Art is one of the most wonderful forms of creativity because anything goes. Look at Warhol, look at Pollock, look at Van Gogh. Look, they're all different. Just go and tell me what mother does not hang up the portrait of her done by her 3-year-old on the refrigerator. With regard to the animal ministry, besides contacting me at Blessed Be Buddies at Gmail, go out and just change your mindset a little bit. When you look into the eyes of your dog, there's a soul there. When you look into or you listen to the meow of a baby kitten, she's expressing something to you. Don't just dismiss it. Think, what is she saying? She's probably saying she wants some food, but other than that, she is communicating to you. And of course, if anybody wants to know more about it or what we do, or prayer requests or Reiki sessions for the healing of the animals or bereavement, by all means, they can contact me and we can set something up.
Great, because your website will be available in the autumn, I think.
I'm hoping before the end of the summer. Even a skeleton type website, but
you've got Facebook pages as well. I'll put those on the YouTube so people can see. They can look down below and find where to find you.
Thank you so much.
It has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time.
Well, I'm honored that you asked me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
It has been so much fun, LisaDiana. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.